Hello everyone, welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Duncan DeAeth and it's great to have you with us. We'll visit a volunteer training session and certification ceremony in Durban, South Africa with volunteers from 3 different African countries. In Taichung, Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers recently assisted a single mother clean up after her home caught fire at the end of February. And we'll see how Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chings are promoting vegetarianism in different countries and also across generations. Tzu Chi volunteers in South Africa held a local volunteer training session recently in Durban, where volunteers from 3 different countries gathered to remain steadfast on their Tzu Chi path. Among the participants were local volunteers from Namibia, and several days involved home visitations to those in need. A certification ceremony was also held for some volunteers who were unable to receive their badge in Taiwan last year.
In South Africa, Durban Tzu Chi volunteer Gladys welcomes the volunteers from Namibia, making them feel more comfortable.
So now,
we want to invite the Namibia family members to use their language in leading us in the prayer, to which we will follow along with them.
Giving Namibia volunteers the stage and humbling oneself.
in love, in peace, in unity, and work together.
Namibia is the 7th country in Africa that Tzu Chi volunteers have spread their care to. Located west of South Africa, it takes over 2,300 kilometers for the Namibia volunteers to reach Durban, South Africa. This is a journey that Durban Tzu Chi volunteers have took many times. However, this time the local Namibia volunteers paid a visit to Durban to attend the local volunteer training. The 6 days of planned activities, 4 of which were saved for visiting the less fortunate. Though it rained each day, the Namibia volunteers who are from a drier climate did not have a problem adjusting to the rainy conditions. Instead, they poured their hearts into studying how to become a Tzu Chi volunteer.
The rice for you for it.
Yes.
This rice for our master give for us to bring for you.
Yeah.
An official certification ceremony was held for 12 of the volunteers who couldn't go to Taiwan to receive their badge from Master Zhen Yan.
I will work hard, practice kindness, compassion, happiness, and selfless giving, so that Tzu Chi can also one day be proud of me. Do not forget what you have said and what we have said together today.
Our vow to Master Zhen Yan is to carry on planting the seeds that she gave us to plant. My only regret with finding Tzu Chi is I'm old now.
After the simple but honorable certification ceremony, all of the volunteers celebrated the occasion in their usual manner.
Some media volunteers from Tzu Chi's Indonesia chapter shared their experience of being a media worker last month for National Press Day. Daai TV Indonesia aims to provide positive programs and news to the public, and these volunteers not only aim to improve their professional skills, but have also dedicated themselves to Daai's positive message.
With the broadcast vehicle waiting, TV cameras eagerly try to capture precious news images, but not everyone likes this way of broadcasting news.
Current media workers report many negative events. Even though they provide actual messages to the public, many subjective opinions of the reporters are usually presented as the main content of their reports.
With people searching for news articles on the internet, the quality of news gradually declines. Therefore, journalists miss the media quality of the past.
The most important thing right now is that the news must be interesting. In the past, journalists were able to provide interesting and beneficial news which wasn't fake. So when they perceived some lies, they were able to solve the problems in a good way. So people called them observers of society.
Instead of rushing their work, these Tzu Chi media volunteers appreciate the harmony and beauty of the world. They start everything with goodness and love. They not only convey the important messages, but redress wrongs.
We hope that all the media workers can screen the information first before releasing the news. This means that the news they select should provide positive messages and not create negative ones that disturb the peace and order of society. So we must broadcast the messages which are beneficial to the people and the world.
Though there are many tasks Tzu Chi media volunteers need to face, they believe that only by working with one heart and broadcasting positive messages will society be peaceful and harmonious.
In Taipei's Zhongshan district, volunteers recently made a visit to the home of elderly Mrs. Song to help her install some safety rails in her bathroom. The volunteers are old friends with Mrs. Song, and over the past 8 years, they're more like family than friends. Let's see how these volunteers in Taipei are looking out for the welfare of seniors in their community. These Tzu Chi volunteers and representatives from the borough have come to the home of 90-year-old Mrs. Song to help install safety handrails in her bathroom. After the installation is checked for safety by the volunteers, Mrs. Song is invited to try it out. At the time of the rail installation, volunteers also take the opportunity to unclog the sink. These volunteers have developed a bond with Mrs. Song over the past 8 years and now see each other like family.
She has already begun to see us as her family members. Despite her old age, last summer she carried a big watermelon home and cut it up and put it in the fridge. When we visited, she then offered it to us. It's just like my own mother would do.
Some solitary seniors, after they get to know us over many years, they'll often tell us things that they don't even tell their own family members. They share their troubles and may even cry to us. So then we become a kind of family for them. For things big and small, we become people they trust. These kinds of relationships and interactions can't be bought.
When there are elderly in their community, Tzu Chi volunteers are there to safeguard their health as well as provide emotional support and familial love at every opportunity. In Taiwan's Taichung, a single mother surnamed Wu is a Tzu Chi care recipient whose house caught fire at the end of February. She cares for her daughter alone, and her daughter also has physical and mental difficulties. To help them clean up after the fire, over 30 volunteers came to her home early in the morning to clean up. Mrs. Wu was deeply moved by the kindness of the volunteers.
After the fire broke out, the house had no power, as it was difficult to even see one's own hands. Going up the stairs was nearly impossible as well. Volunteers worked with flashlights to clean the home. On the 3rd floor, the entire ceiling was about to collapse and had to be removed. At the end of February, a faulty electrical wire is suspected of causing the fire. Mrs. Wu, a single mother, was unable to clean the place on her own, so volunteers came to help.
We don't know what caused the fire as the whole electrical system has been damaged. So we helped her clear away everything that was burned. For this, we mobilized about 30 brothers and sisters.
After cleaning all morning, these volunteers are all soaked with sweat, but they take joy in their work.
I like to help people, and this hard work was definitely worth it.
The next day, they came to look after me and sent their love and compassion. Today, they came to help us clean the house, which made me very happy.
After the fire, Mrs. Wu and her mentally and physically disabled daughter couldn't live in the home anymore, so they found temporary shelter in a friend's home. They also gave thanks to volunteers for helping them clean up their house before returning it to the landlord.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Beijing have been visiting their care recipients in Montogo for the past 6 months. In that time, the care recipients have opened up to the volunteers. Originally, those who were shy to the volunteers' visits have become friendly and have accepted Tzu Chi into their lives. Some are even donating back to the foundation. Let's join a recent visit.
Tzu Chi volunteers head to Montogo to bring a ray of sunshine into this care recipient's home. Fang Yuchen's grandfather has silicosis, formerly known as grinder's asthma, while his grandmother has breast cancer. Though the two are sick, they still count their blessings. The volunteers encourage the grandson to save money to donate and do other good deeds as well.
No matter if it's outside or inside, you can brush your grandparents' hair, clean up the house a bit, help your grandmother do the dishes or laundry. These are all a part of doing good deeds.
The little one learns to express his love out loud. A simple hug from their grandchild warms the hearts of these two seniors. Upon their initial meeting, Wang Yan can only sit in a chair to receive the volunteers. Now she can stand and walk. Originally, she couldn't speak to communicate her needs, but now she can say a few words.
一定要有信心，多祝福自己。我行，我一定能行。你会说吗？你说。我行，我行，我行，我一定能行。对，一定。
Not want to bother others for help, Wang Yan kept the volunteers at bay. However, after 6 months of love and care from Tzu Chi, she has finally opened up her heart to the volunteers.
In our next piece, we will see how the drive to promote vegetarianism is going in 2 different countries and across generations. In Malaysia, young Tzu Chings hosted a special vegetarian meal for their classmates and the community, where they educated diners about the environmental impact of eating meat. Meanwhile, seniors in Taoyuan, Taiwan have been eating vegetarian for years and encouraging others to do the same. For 2 to 3 days every week here at the Juwei Borough in Taoyuan, Taiwan, these kitchen volunteers are preparing delicious vegetarian meals for seniors.
When our old president started to promote vegetarian meals, we started coming to help. Whenever we came, the president was always very kind to us, so we were happy to be here every day.
Everyone eats their fill from a large choice of vegetarian dishes. The former president, Chen Rongfeng, and his wife are both Tzu Chi volunteers. They have been encouraging the elderly in their community to adopt a vegetarian diet for the past 12 years.
Since the former president was part of the Tzu Chi family, they were vegetarians. They cooked it themselves for the elderly in the community. They wanted to change local habits around the port area, from eating mostly fish and meat to have people eat more vegetables.
With less oil and less salt, eating vegetables is the healthier option for both the body and the environment. With such healthy diets, it's no wonder these seniors are so full of life and energy. Meanwhile, in other parts of the world, it is young people that are taking the initiative to promote vegetarianism. These Tzu Chings in Seremban, Malaysia are offering vegetarian meals at this eatery. Many of their fellow students have shown up to participate in the event. A video is provided to educate the diners about the environmental impact of eating meat. Many young people here are enthusiastic about making a difference.
Actually, I'm full veggie. Now it's 6 years already. I follow my family members also vegetarian, so I just follow. And I feel like more clean and relaxed when I eat the vegetarians. Vegetarian foods are really healthy food.
After participating in the Global Tzu Ching event, one person shared their experience. They showed us a video about vegetarian diets, and we realized with that video that everyone can do their part. So why wasn't I doing mine? That's when I started being more committed.
From now on, I want to start eating vegetarian meals at least 2 or 3 days a week, and then slowly increase the number of vegetarian meals.
Large movements and change can begin with just a single person. These students here have signed a card vowing to act on their love for planet Earth. Hopefully, their actions and influence will spread far beyond Malaysia and across the entire globe. Xindian Tzu Chi volunteers regularly visit Senior Care Center, where they engage in fun activities like puzzles that help stimulate brain activity. This particular visit was special as they were joined by a Scottish woman, Pat Farr, who despite advanced age continued to have an optimistic attitude towards life, bringing smiles to the faces of the seniors.
Tzu Chi volunteers are singing a song to this audience sitting in wheelchairs or enthusiastically trying to keep up with the beat. Despite the spring rain outside, the mood of Tzu Chi volunteers visiting this nursing home isn't affected. These volunteers are interacting with residents, even giving them riddles, so that the elderly can keep their minds active.
年轻的时候是穿绿色的衣服，老的时候就变穿黄色的衣服，猜一种水果。
香。
对啊，送一个100分，100分。
Among these volunteers interacting with the elderly, one person really stands out as Pat Farr from Scotland, who was laughing and getting along with the elderly.
I think that the elderly being at home by themselves leads their minds to deteriorate. If their hearts and bodies suffer, they should have more interaction with others.
Farpat can speak fluent Mandarin and says she enjoys coming to the nursing home to communicate with the elderly, as she says that seeing everyone smile makes the whole trip worthwhile.
This activity is quite entertaining. When we came, this elderly man was frowning, and now he's smiling and he's happy. Singing is good. This is really a great activity.
Today's event isn't an isolated activity as it happens once a month, and many of the elderly in this nursing home eagerly look forward to these visits.
Since the temperature varies greatly from day to night in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers from Hualien have visited 5 solitary seniors with some relief items, such as scarves, instant noodles, cookies, and corn flour. With the care and company of volunteers, these seniors felt loved and blessed.
After volunteers give Mr. Zhou a greeting and put on the scarf for him, he feels the warmth of love from Tzu Chi. As Mr. Zhou lives alone and has mobility issues, he is unable to take care of his house. Tzu Chi volunteers help him clean up a bit while they deliver relief supplies for him.
We take this opportunity to help him clean the house and take out the trash while we deliver relief items for him. We have also obtained permission from him to apply for a home attendant for him so that he will receive a long-term care in the future.
In Hualien, this senior also needs assistance like Mr. Zhou. Mr. Wang suffers from brain atrophy, which leads to problems of mobility. As soon as he sees Tzu Chi volunteers, he cannot hold back his tears.
I can do nothing but say thanks to Tzu Chi.
This is Mr. Lee, who had an accident on a construction site. On this day, knowing the volunteers are visiting him, he shared with the volunteers the non-toxic vegetables he grew in his garden.
We're happy farmers. We grow everything on our own. Who wants it? Take some.
Tzu Chi volunteers personally visited 5 care recipients in one day to find out the best ways to take care of them and accompany them to get by each day peacefully.
Recently, in Pingdong, Taiwan, volunteers organized a day of activities especially for the elderly in the community. Some retirees who have been working hard learning to play the erhu had a chance to show off their musical abilities. Other activities included teaching the seniors to make dough figurines. The day was lots of fun and reminds us all that you are never too old to learn something new. The audience listens with happy expressions as these seniors put on an erhu performance. This music group, composed of senior retirees, has come to an event hosted by the Tzu Chi branch in Pingdong.
By participating in this Tzu Chi activity, we feel very honored. Seeing how much effort everyone has put into this, it makes us very happy.
Everyone at the event puts their hearts into the activities. Volunteers teach everyone to make dough figurines as a way to exercise their fingers. Making dough figurines reminds the elders of their childhood. The actions may be more difficult in their age, but everyone still has a good time, which is most important. Events like this one not only remind everyone that they are never too old to learn, but they also help to cultivate love and spread familial warmth throughout society. In Shizhe, New Taipei, volunteers recently made a visit to the Evergreen Senior Center to show some love to the seniors living there. The day included various activities like songs and games, which gave residents of the home a chance to feel young again. Here's more. In the cold temperatures around 13 degrees Celsius, volunteers in Shizhe, New Taipei recently made a visit to Evergreen Senior Center. The first thing they do upon arrival is some simple exercises to warm up the seniors' muscles. One volunteer, Wang Jianping, who grew up in Shanghai, dealt with the passing of her mother 5 years ago. She chats with the grandmother who speaks with an accent. For her, caring for the seniors is a chance to express filial piety, which she feels she never adequately expressed to her own mother.
Every time I come here, I treat these seniors as I would my own mother and father. I care for them to show my filial piety.
These seniors can all feel the warmth and love of the volunteers. With open hearts, everyone happily joins together in song and dance.
Even though the time we spend here is short, it seems that in the seniors' hearts, we are able to help them feel young again. During our visit, they can express their feelings for their own sons and daughters.
Even though it is only for a short time, the love shared between the volunteers and the seniors fills everyone with familial warmth. Now we will visit the USA and check out some images of the Evergreen Senior Center in El Monte, California, where volunteers are organizing fun courses for seniors there 1 year after the official opening. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.